Welcome to World Buzz Bulletin. Today is Thursday, the 1st of January, 2020, as the world greets the dawn of a new year. The festive celebrations, seen in many global capitals, stand in stark and haunting contrast to the scenes of devastation still unfolding in the Middle East and Eastern Europe. While 2025 has passed into history, it has left behind a legacy of conflict that continues to challenge the very foundations of our shared humanity. We begin this New Year's Day with the harrowing situation in the Palestinian territories. As of the final hours of December 31st, reports from Gaza and the West Bank describe a landscape of unprecedented humanitarian catastrophe. Following months of what international observers call a continuous and brutal campaign of strikes, the infrastructure required to sustain human life has effectively collapsed. Hospitals, shelters, and essential services have been reduced to rubble, leaving a population of millions to face the winter months with little more than the clothes on their backs. The global community is increasingly vocal in its condemnation of these acts, which many human rights organizations describe as a systematic campaign of terror aimed at a trapped civilian population. The question on the lips of every diplomat and every citizen watching these events is clear: when will this cycle of violence finally end? The path toward a future where Palestinians can live their lives freely and with full sovereignty remains fraught with political deadlock. Yet the global demand for justice has never been more unified. As we enter 2026, the survival of an entire people hangs in the balance, awaiting a world that will finally stand against such overwhelming force and prioritize the preservation of life. Turning to the situation in Ukraine, the start of the new year brings no respite from the bitter winter of war. Throughout the final days of December, the nation has endured a series of relentless offensives targeting the civilian energy grid, leaving millions to wring in 2026 in the dark and cold. On the front lines in the east and south, Ukrainian defenders remain locked in a fierce battle for their territorial integrity, facing a war of attrition that has defined much of the past year. Despite the immense pressure and the constant threat of drone and missile strikes, the spirit of the Ukrainian people remains a beacon of resilience. The international community continues to grapple with the complexities of long-term military support, a factor that remains decisive for the nation's ability to remain free and independent. The struggle in Ukraine, much like that in Palestine, highlights the urgent necessity for a global stand against terrorism and the protection of sovereign rights against external aggression. As we reflect on the year that has been and the year that lies ahead, the message from the streets of the world is unmistakable. We must stand against terrorism in all its forms and work tirelessly to save humanity from the scourge of unchecked violence. The yearning for a world where every individual can live without the fear of sudden destruction is a fundamental right that transcends borders. Whether in the rubble of Gaza or the frozen trenches of the Donbass, the call for freedom remains the defining struggle of our time. Free Palestine, free Ukraine, stand against terrorism, save humanity. Thank you for choosing World Buzz Bulletin for your global news coverage. Stay safe and stay informed.